The river was glowing. Not the soft kind of glow you see at sunset. This was deep blue, pulsing, like something alive was breathing underneath the water. The villagers stood at the edge with their torches and watched the basket sink beneath the surface. Then they saw it, the glow, and every single one of them took one big step back. The native doctor raised his staff and shouted, "It is done! The curse is destroyed!" But one woman did not cheer. One woman dropped to her knees in the mud and screamed a scream so painful that even the fish in the water went still. Because that was not just any basket. That was her baby inside. And somewhere deep beneath that glowing river, a pair of eyes slowly opened. If you are new here, subscribe to Deep African Folktales right now and hit that like button. We bring you the stories that will stay with you forever. Now let me take you back, because before you can understand what happened at that river, you need to understand the evil that started it all. The village of Oha had a problem, and that problem had a name: Ozoemena. Ozoemena was the native doctor. He was the man who decided if your new baby was a blessing or a curse. He had been doing this for 30 years, and in 30 years, not one single person had ever dared to question him, because the ones who questioned Ozoemena had a habit of getting very sick very quickly. So when a baby girl was born one night with hair as white as snow and eyes the color of river water, everyone looked at Ozoemena to tell them what it meant. Ozoemena looked at the baby, and deep inside his chest, something cold moved. He could see the power sitting on her like a crown. He knew that if this girl grew up, she would be greater than him. The village would stop needing him. His power would be finished. So he did what wicked men always do when they are afraid of someone stronger. He lied. He stood in front of the king and the whole village and pointed at the baby and said in his loudest voice, "This child has the mark of a river demon. Her white hair and strange eyes are a sign. If she lives past 7 days, floods will swallow this village. Famine will kill your children. The only way to stop it is to throw her into the river before sunrise tomorrow." The crowd went silent. Then the fear spread like fire. But her mother Adeze stood up and said, "Look at her. She is 1 day old. You want to kill a baby because of her hair?" Ozoemena pointed his staff and said, "Do you want to be responsible for this whole village dying?" The king gave the order. That night, a young guard who felt sorry for Adeze gave her the basket and said, "You have until the rain starts." So Adeze ran through the dark forest in the cold rain, holding her baby tight against her chest, with the guards chasing behind her with torches. She reached the river. The water was black and wild and roaring. She looked at her daughter one last time. The baby was not even crying. She was just looking up with those pale, glowing eyes, calm, like she already knew. Adeze whispered, "I am sorry. I love you. I love you. I love you." And she pushed the basket into the river. The guards cheered. Ozoemena raised his arms like he had won something. But then the river began to glow, deep blue, pulsing like a heartbeat, and everyone went very quiet. Deep beneath the water, in a place no human had ever gone, the basket floated down through the blue light. And sitting at the bottom of that river, ancient and enormous, and more powerful than anything in the human world, was Mami Wata. She was not the small woman with a fishtail from the village stories. She was something much older. Her hair floated around her like black clouds. Her eyes were the color of the deepest water. And when she opened the basket and looked at the baby inside, white hair, glowing eyes, still perfectly calm, something she had almost forgotten woke up inside her. She felt love. She held the baby to her chest and said, "They did not want you, but I do." And she named her Neka, which means Mother is Supreme. Neka grew up in that underwater kingdom surrounded by wonder. Pearls as big as your fist growing from the river floor. Fish with scales like mirrors. Towers of coral reaching up through the blue light. Mami Wata taught her everything. The language of water. How to heal with deep river plants. How to speak to the world and have it answer back.
Neka grew into a young woman so powerful and so beautiful that even the oldest creatures of the deep river bowed their heads when she passed. She was happy, but she always watched the surface. One day she asked, "Can I go up? Can I find my mother?" Mami Wata said, "You can go, but one rule only. If you cry even one single human tear, the door between our worlds closes forever. You can never come back. Do you understand?" Neka said yes, and she rose. She walked out of the river at dawn, wrapped in gold cloth, her white hair floating, her skin glowing with the light of deep water. She walked into the market of Oha, and everything stopped. Nobody recognized her. She had been thrown in as a baby 18 years ago. But she found her mother easily. Adeze was old now, bent from years of grief, selling vegetables at the edge of the market. Neka stood in front of her, and Adeze looked up. And even after 18 years, a mother always knows. Adeze whispered, "My daughter." They held each other. Neka breathed slowly, careful, not one tear. She remembered the rule. But someone else in that market also recognized her. Ozoemena, old now but still sharp. When he saw that white hair and those glowing eyes, he knew immediately who she was. And instead of feeling shame, he felt something else. He felt greed. He went straight to the king and said, "The river child has returned. She is full of Mami Wata's power. If we capture her, we can use that power and make this village the richest in the whole land." The guards surrounded Neka in the market. She raised her hands calmly. She said, "I only came to see my mother. Let me say goodbye and I will go back to the water." But Ozoemena shouted, "Chain her before she calls the river." They grabbed Adeze. They held a blade to her throat. They told Neka, "Come with us, or your mother dies right now." And that was the moment. Neka looked at her mother's terrified face, the same face that had pressed a kiss to her forehead 18 years ago, and whispered, "I love you," before letting her go. One single tear ran down Neka's cheek. The sky went black immediately. Not slowly, immediately, like someone had blown out every light in the world at once. The wind came screaming, the ground shook, and that you heard it. The greed years rising. Water poured over the banks and flooded the village square. And then, from the center of the flood, she came. Mami Wata. Enormous, terrifying, beautiful.
rising from the water with her black hair spreading across the full sky, her eyes burning cold, her voice coming from everywhere at once like thunder from inside the earth. She looked at Ozoemena, she looked at the king, and this said, "You threw my daughter away. Then you tried to chain her. Did you think the river would not from my was? Took not the observe the grief, not the market women." And frightened, Butternet and the king were popping under screaming and were never seen again. When the water pulled back, Neka was standing alone in the wet village square. The tear had broken the rule. The day was closed. She cry not go back. But Mami Wata had all told her what that meant. Her destiny was getting to live a quiet human life. Her destiny was to self-coming the writing world and the human world, to be the new guardian of the river, to decide what the words gives and of what it takes back. Adeze lived the rest of her life in peace beside the world, and your morning she cup up to find fresh fish and writing pearls left on her doorstep. She are who left them. When you spit river, remember that you're with across they fresh of grief, and the river across it as a curse, every of those who deserved one. Now tell me, if you were Nyeka, would you have spared the whole your village? Drop your judgment in the comments right now. Share this words with someone tonight. Like this video and trust to Deep African Folktales below. More people words are coming each week. Until next time, never words the words. Blessing.